It was a show that went out 3 nights a week, live.
Wogan, you're on, you're on.
With a live audience. And everyone who is anyone dropping in. The great and the good, the bad and the ugly. They called it Wogan. I never knew why. So, if you're sitting comfortably, I'll show you something I made earlier. God knows what they'll make of us in 25 years' time. Welcome to what I think will be a real beauty of a show, because today we're looking at leading ladies from the worlds of both film and music. The lineup includes Diana Ross, Jodie Foster, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Celine Dion, and Zsa Zsa Gabor. First, though, a woman who might just be the world's biggest star of the past few decades. Always controversial, constantly in the process of reinvention, it's Madonna. Dressed in what I think you'll agree is a rather wonderful shirt. I joined a queue of the world's press to meet her in Cannes way back in 1991, where she was promoting her film called In Bed With... Who was it again?
Much of your whole performance is tongue-in-cheek. How much of it's done with this? Is it all done with a sense of humor?
I think, yeah, I do. I think it's a lot of what I do is well, not a sense of irony, you know. I think it's good to see someone, a performer or whatever, and say, now, does she mean that or doesn't she? Because it makes you ask questions, and it makes you see that there's two sides to every story, and everything isn't cut and dry, everything's black, everything isn't black and white, you know. So, and I think that I try to make that clear in my work by being tongue-in-cheek. So, I never want to be taken completely seriously. I think that that's the death of anyone.
Of course. Well, that is the problem, isn't it? That people think you mean it most of the time, don't they? Do you mean everything you say?
I mean everything I say, but in terms of like my performance and stuff, I mean, certainly in my last show, much of what I did was tongue-in-cheek, and I mean, I'm being very sincere with you right now, but when I present a performance, for instance, and many times in my songs, there's a sense of irony that most intelligent people see it, and the people that don't, well, they don't. I mean, everyone can't love everything that you do.
You seem to lead from the front. Indeed. Would you say that people are frightened of you?
Sometimes, yes.
What is it about you that frightens people?
My boldness, because I'm very confrontational,
Yeah.
you know, and I think it's hard for people to hide from me when they meet me.
Are you frightened of anybody yourself?
I suppose I have been, yeah. Yeah.
What makes you nervous of people?
I feel the most nervous around people who can't be honest with me, who can't look me in the eye, who are afraid of really presenting themselves to me and being honest.
Were you always powerful? Were you always confrontational? Have you changed?
I don't know if I've always been powerful, but I certainly have always been confrontational, yes.
Do you like being powerful? Do you like power?
Who doesn't?
Well, not everybody. Do you like
really? Name
like...
one person who doesn't like power.
No, everybody wants to be famous.
No, it's not just fame. It's power is... anyone can have power. I mean, it's how you feel about yourself. It's how you carry yourself. It's the effect that you have on people. It doesn't necessarily... It's not synonymous with fame. And I think that I don't think you would find a human being on this earth that wasn't interested in power.
Yes, it's
really.
how you exercise it, of course, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think you exercise it properly?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Is anybody likely to tell you to your face if you don't?
Well, there are many people who disagree with my opinions and my points of views and the way that I live my life or carry on, and they're welcome to their opinions.
But within your own circle, is there anybody who ever disagrees with you?
Yes.
What do you do to them?
What do I do to them?
Yeah.
I have them sentenced to jail and I have their heads cut off.
Yeah. But what I mean is, do you welcome
I listen to,
disagreement?
yes, I absolutely insist on it. I don't want a bunch of people, you know, running around kissing my ass all the time. I prefer people to be really upfront and honest with me. I don't mind that because it gives me a chance to explain not only to them, but once again myself, why I do the things I do.
The thing that I noticed about, that everybody noticed about you, so you'll excuse me if you've been asked this before, you seem to reinvent yourself every few years. Is that a conscious thing, or do you just get tired of yourself and say, I want a new Madonna every couple of years?
Well, I don't think it's a question of getting tired of myself, but it's like, it's all different aspects of my personality, and I just kind of I focus in on different aspects of my personality, and I kind of get very involved in it, you know? I mean, like, sometimes I'll feel very vulnerable, and that's how I'll appear. Sometimes I'll feel very strong, and that's how I'll appear. I mean, I don't think there's a big difference between what I do and what, say, De Niro does when he gets completely involved in a character, and for that 6 months or whatever, he walks around all day long with his, you know, weighing 40 pounds more than he does, with long hair or whatever, and he completely changes, you know, his appearance. And, you know, obviously he's searching out, you know, I don't think an actor chooses to do roles in movies that he can't somehow relate to in some way, you know. So, in a way, I think it's very similar. You know, I'm just kind of acting out different parts of my personality.
Like Madonna, Motown legend Diana Ross is a singer who's occasionally crossed over into the world of film. Now, I think that's all they've got in common. But there's also a reputation for both being massive divas. Now, we never tolerated that sort of behaviour on Wogan. And to be fair to Diana, she was sweetness itself when she visited. She was marking 30 years in showbiz, had just released her 58th album. And I just wanted to know what kept her hanging on. I just wondered why you want to continue doing it. You can't need the money. Is it that urge to perform? Is it the roar of the grease paint?
Oh, Lord. Well, I really do enjoy the work. I really probably should stay at home and be with my kids more. I like to be on the stage, and I think next year I'll probably slow down a bit. But I had decided that my kids are little right now, and so I thought maybe this next 2 years I would work really hard and travel around and see everyone, and then maybe I'd slow up a bit. But I really do like to perform, and I like to be on the stage, and it's, I think it really is healthy somehow. It really is quite a healthy experience. You get a chance to perform and sing and let go of a lot of emotions, and somehow it keeps me kind of quiet and at peace with my life somehow. Yeah. Also, it's a gift. I've never studied singing, and it's a wonderful work and a wonderful pay.
Yeah, the money's good.
Yes, it's very nice. When it works, it's nice.
You miss your children. Do you take any of your children with you?
I have them with me, the little ones with me all the time.
How old are they now?
They're 3 and 4. And then I have a 16-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 20-year-old. And the 2 older ones are in college. And so it's easier to leave them because they've left me already. But the boys travel with me for now. But next year, Ross should be in kindergarten, and I think that we won't travel as much then.
Yes, it's hard to imagine you're the mother of 5 children at an age from 20 to 3.
Yeah.
Did you get to spend as much time as you'd like with your older children?
Yes, the lucky part with them is I was able to travel in the early days with them as well. And then when they started school, my mom was there with them. So I kind of commuted back and forth, but my mother was there. So
it kept a balance in your life?
Yes, it really did.
You're seen as a tough business person. Do you see yourself as that?
No, I don't think I'm a tough business person. I'm a perfectionist, and I like to.
Are you tough to work for?
I don't think so. I don't really.
Ruthless?
No. I don't think so.
Demanding?
I have a lot. My husband says you have a lot on your plate. I have a lot that I do. And in a sense, that means that you have to really stay on purpose all the time. And I want very much to not ignore my children. I want to be there, and I want to see everything. So in a sense, I don't have a lot of time for a lot of nonsense. I really have time for being on purpose.
You've never had time for the nonsense of your business, have you?
No, I think there is a lot of nonsense in our business.
I mean, the drugs and the drink and the rock and roll.
No. Drugs, drinking, rock and roll.
And the sex.
Oh, that's a good one. No. Only if you're married.
Yes.
Well, that's how I got 5 kids. Well.
Yeah, well, it had to happen somehow, yeah. Now, you signed to Motown in 1961, and among your contemporaries were people like Stevie Wonder, the Four Tops.
Yes.
You've all done concerts recently. What do you think is the reason for the longevity, the great success of people like you, Lionel Richie, Four Tops, those people?
Well, I think the songs from the early days, it was the music and the kind of music had kind of really touched the heart, and it was a lot of love songs. I have so many love songs in my group of songs that I have. And I think the songwriters kind of wrote songs that people could really identify with. They weren't abstract songs. They were really kind of special, very simplicity in nature. And I think that melody and that rhythm is just really just coming back around. People just still like the music. I look into my audiences and there's young kids that still know the words to all the old songs. Yeah. So I think the Motown sound really made a mark in the business.
And of course, Berry Gordy was very careful
Yes.
of his artists, wasn't he? He taught you everything.
He was really, I don't think they have those kind of mentors anymore for performers. Someone who really takes the time with their career. It was more performer development, an artist development, caring about their appearance, caring about their home life, caring about just all the parts of their lives. It wasn't just about going in the studio, making a record and selling records. They were really concerned about us as people and building human beings. And in that perfection of his, I think I caught a lot of that because in a sense, I see that there's a way to have things really right. And maybe that's the reason why that it has been, next year's my 30th year anniversary. So maybe in trying to have it correct, you know, that it gives you some legs in the business, and you don't have time. We were nurtured. We had chaperones for years.
You're off to appear at Wembley now.
Yes. Tonight is, Monday night is our last night, yes.
And any more concerts in the UK?
I do think we have one more in Scotland.
You've got a husband in the UK, of course. And I mean, so does that mean you sneak over here more often than we think?
I'm over here a lot. I am over here a lot. And yes, he has his business here and he works here. So I'm over here quite a bit.
It's the secret of a happy marriage, distance lending enchantment to the view, is it?
Well, actually, the song I'm going to do for you now, my new release, to me, if you take a listen to the words, it's really about my relationship with my husband and my children. They're a very, very special part of my life.
Let's hear it then.
Okay.
Thank you for joining
All right,
us.
thanks a lot.
Diana Ross.
All right.
Thank you.
Tell me who, what, where did it start? Tell me when, where
Now, Jodie Foster, a fine actress who'll forever be associated with a film that scared the living daylights out of everyone who saw it. And I'm not talking about Bugsy Malone. It was The Silence of the Lambs, of course, for which her role as FBI agent Clarice Starling earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress.
Jodie, do you find it unusual to have 200 or 300 people applauding you from a distance of about 3,000 miles?
Yeah, especially since I sort of hear them out of sync. So I see your mouth move, and then you talk a little while later. It's good. It's funny. It's a very charming perspective.
Well, you're perfectly synchronized from where we're sitting. Now,
Oh, that's good.
you don't go for, or it doesn't seem to me anyway, that you go for glamour girl roles. Is that a deliberate process, that you go for controversial roles?
Well, I don't really think that I kind of go for anything. I mean, that's, gee, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm less concerned with my image than I am making good stories and good films. And that the one thing that's always been a strain through my films is that I've always chosen the story above anything else, and sometimes above the character. Sometimes I play characters that aren't as flashy, for example, but that tell the story in a way that's probably a controversial and a more dramatic story, which I always find interesting.
Tell me about this particular role as an FBI agent. Did you pick that for the writing, or did you pick it for the nature of the role?
Well, actually, I was a big fan of the book, and I had been following the book for a long time and sort of found out which writer was doing it, and so I had been in contact with it for a long time before the film was set up. So I knew about it. Really, it was really the story, I think, that I was most caught up with.
Well, it's made a great number of waves in America, this particular movie. It's good to see Anthony Hopkins do so well in the role.
Yes.
It's very terrifying for me. He plays Hannibal the cannibal, who, in fact, eats people. I mean...
Not on screen.
No, not on screen. But he does like a little liver and stuff like that. I mean,
Yes.
do you think, probably not from your own personal experience, but from your researches into this, which I know are considerable, do you think that there are people like him around?
There's no question of it. I mean, the character was composed of a number of different profiles of different historical killers, that have been out there. There is a pattern and there are motives, and one of the things I think that is probably one of the most contributing factors, and definitely is the one thing that they all have in common, is that they've endured some kind of abuse as children. So that's the one thing that almost every serial killer has in common.
We'll ask you about your childhood a little bit later on.
Okay.
But what do you think the public fascination, particularly American public fascination, is with serial killers?
Well, irrational motives, and I think that kind of darkness of picking out somebody randomly, and not for any reason except for the glorification of violence, and for enjoying the fact of violence, and having violence be your way of coping with life, or your way of expressing yourself, ultimately. And that's something that I think people find a very horrifying principle, as they should.
Yeah, but when you make a film like this, I'm not suggesting that you made the film, but I mean, when a film like this is made,
Yes.
there's a lot of loonies out there, and aren't they likely to look at it and say, oh, that's a good idea, I'll go and kill a few hundred people and have a movie made of my life and die happy?
Well, the truth about dramas is that, like anything else, I mean, you can take a 2x4 and you can build a building, or you can hit somebody over the head with it. And there are two things that you can do with pieces of information. You can use them to construct things, and you can use them to change things, which I think our film is very responsible and deals with the subject in a very frank and very responsible way. Or you can, obviously use any piece of information to stimulate anything that you want. I mean, you could say that about the news. And information is always good, and I certainly don't ever believe in censoring information.
Your mother guided your career from your very early days. Does she still do that?
Yes.
Does she still dictate to you, or do you dictate to her more?
Dictate, no, probably neither one of those. But yeah, she was very involved in my career at a young age, which is understandable since I was 3 years old when I started. So I had to have somebody taking care of me and ultimately looking after me to make sure that the sharks didn't devour me, which I think was much more her function, and rightfully so.
And then The Accused came along, and you won that 3 years ago. You actually won the Oscar for that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I thought you might have forgotten. But I mean...
No, it always makes me laugh. Every time I think of that, it just makes me laugh.
Was it a big night? You were drunk?
No, I wasn't drunk. I had fun. I was a blast. I can't, it was like being on a ride at Disneyland or something. It was just, I kept getting, moved somewhere else, and then this would happen, and then that would happen. It was a little bit unreal. I couldn't stop laughing. It was like winning the lottery or something.
Now, just a month before that encounter with Jodie, I interviewed another actress who would go on to find Oscar glory. At the time, Catherine Zeta-Jones was getting her first real taste of fame in the much-loved TV series The Darling Buds of May. It was clear even back then just where her ambitions lay.
Zeta.
Zeta.
It's a silly name, isn't it, Zeta?
What do you mean it's a silly name? It's my grandmother's name.
Was she Greek?
No, she wasn't Greek, but it's a Greek name. And it's named, supposedly, from my grandmother tells me, it's named after a battleship that went round the Cape Horn. But my grandmother's a great drama queen, so whether that story's true or not, I don't know, but I know it's my story, so I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. You haven't found that it held you back or anything, having a Zeta in there?
Well, it is a bit long, but I was christened Catherine Zeta-Jones. My other grandmother's called Catherine, so I thought, well, it's my name, so let's use it.
Now, your picture is everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
Fame has kind of arrived in a burst over the last 2 weeks. You've been called a sex kitten, a darling bud of May. How do you find coping with this sudden interest?
Well, I think you have to put it in perspective, really, and realise that I'm here to do a job that I love. And in doing that job, other things come into it.
Yeah.
And you need it in a way, but it becomes a hassle if you want to continue in a career. But I'm just putting it to myself to say that that's part of the job and take it with a piece of salt.
Yes, but it must be good. Are there a lot of offers flowing in? Any interesting offers?
Well, I'm booked to do the second series of Darling Buds of May, so that takes me up to near the end of the year. But I've got some personal things that I want to do. I want to be singing again, because that's how I started off, and so I need to have some time and to concentrate, get my energies in that direction. And also, I'd love to do another film.
Is it a tough business? Do you have to be tough to survive?
Well, I've been in it for quite a while. I did theatre for a long time. I did musical comedy. And that's a very hard business to go into because it's dog eat dog. You know, I went into 42nd Street as a chorus girl. And it's, you know, you're there with 1,000 other chorus girls waiting to get a job, and it's hard.
How young were you when you started?
I did Annie and Bugsy Malone as a child, but I was 16. I left school to go to get my equity card, which was the most important thing for me at that time.
Were you encouraged into this by your family? Was there anybody in the family who was a dancer or an actor?
Nobody in the family.
How did you get that into your head?
I think it's just an ambition that I always had. I went to dancing class, I was interested in the youth drama, and I wanted to do all these things, and I had a chance to do that when I left school to get my equity card, and so I bashed into it.
You got a good break with 42nd Street, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a chorus girl, and I took over then the lead.
Well,
so that springboarded me.
You were second understudy, weren't you?
I was second understudy, and then the girl hurt her knee, and I took over, and within 45 minutes notice I was thrown on to do the show. But it was difficult to get, not difficult, but I wanted to get out of that musical comedy actress for a while and try and work on the straight side of it.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to make a living, as every actor and actress who comes on says. But you then got into European films. How did you make that one bound from 42nd Street into that?
Well, I went for loads of interviews over here in England, and I hate to say it, but I felt that they weren't taking me serious as a straight actress. And so I went for this movie. It's a comedy fantasy film based on Arabian Nights. And it was to play Scheherazade, and I went for numerous screen tests because the producer said, no, she's an English girl. She can't do a French film. And so I went to do this. And it was 4 months in the African desert shooting it, and it was great, and I learned so much about making films and the different discipline and the different technique of working for a camera on that film. It was wonderful.
How is it that you had to go to Europe to get a break in films? Well, normally people go to Hollywood or they see if they can get a chance.
Well, the French director came over here to find a star, and I went for the casting director, and he was interested in me immediately, and I kept saying, but I'm not a star, because he didn't know, He said, well, you're in 42nd Street, but I'm not a name, People don't know me over here, and he wanted somebody to come from England because he respects English actors and actresses very much. And so the producer, as I said, was completely adamant not to have an English unknown actress. But he pushed and he pushed and he pushed, and I eventually got the part. It was very strange after doing one role like that. You get taken seriously. People will put that financial, grab on you. It's not a big financial. Films are so much money in them. If they can't take the chance of somebody who's not going to come up with the goods.
Why don't we enjoy some more music now with Celine Dion, who's enjoyed phenomenal international success over the years. She first assailed our ears at a Eurovision Song Contest, and now she has her own stage in Las Vegas. Obviously, an early performance here, accompanied by Peebo Bryson. It's Beauty and the Beast.
Tell us all last time, true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody else unexpectedly.
Just a little change, small to say the least, both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast, yeah, but just the same, ever a surprise, ever as before, and ever just as sure as the sun will rise. Whoa, 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 yeah, but just the same, and ever a surprise, ever as before, and ever just as sure as the sun will rise. Oh, oh, oh. Tell us all last time, tune us all that song, bittersweet and strange, finding you get changed, learning you were wrong, certain as the sun, certain as the sun, rising in the east, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, beauty and the Beast, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, beauty and the
Now join me in a fascinating look back at child stars who once trod an all too familiar path. Early fame, going off the rails, struggling with drink and drugs. And Macaulay Culkin springs to mind. But when a young Drew Barrymore came on the show, she seemed to be getting her life back together. A relief for everyone who'd fallen for her cute appeal in Steven Spielberg's classic film, E.T.
It's 9 years since you made that.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
Do you still kind of look back on that as a happy time of your life?
Probably the best time of my life. It was the first experiences that really showed me how to grow up. I learned a lot of lessons, and it was a really happy time.
Did you? You made friends on the set. You taught. I mean, you were young enough to think of E.T. as a real alien, as a real person.
Yeah. Oh, I believed he was one of my best friends in the whole world, and sometimes I still think he is, but he was really important to me.
Did you go and talk to the dummy and as if it was a real person?
Yeah, I would eat my lunch with him every day.
I mean, you were a mature 6 when you made the film. I mean, had you had a lot of acting experience before that?
Yeah, I had done 1 feature film, maybe 3 or 4 TV movies, and about 20 commercials.
When,
So-
how old were you when you started?
I was 11 months when I started.
I mean, did your mother want you to be an actress?
Well, a friend suggested that she take me on this audition when I was 11 months for a puppy chow commercial. And I went in and the dog bit me on the nose. And everybody freaked and like stood still and I started laughing and I got the commercial. So after that, I just continued to do some commercials and I did some TV movies and I was about 4 and I was staring at the TV and I said something about this is my life and she explained to me that maybe, you know, it was too difficult for me, and I said, no, this is what I want to do. So knowing that I wanted it so much, because she didn't want it for me, she just wanted me to be happy. But when she understood that it was what I wanted, she helped me a lot.
But you're a Barrymore. I mean, you come from such a long dynasty of actors and actresses.
Yeah, but I didn't understand that when I was little. My name was just my last name, and I was explained many times that my family was a very big acting family and the Shakespearean theater, but I never really understood. And then as I got older, my mother would show me more work of my family.
Of course, your progress downhill from the time you were about 9 has been pretty well documented, but in a sense, it's good to hear it again because it can be a lesson and it can help other young people. I mean, how old were you when you first had alcohol?
9.
And then, well, how did you start to drink? So the usual way, somebody said, have a drink of this.
Right. Well, I had grown up very fast, and it's not very normal to see a 9-year-old at a big Hollywood party drinking. And it looks a little weird, and people were laughing and just saying, you know, I dare you to do this, and I did, and I got really drunk, and it was such a scary, frightening feeling, yet it was such an escape from everything else in the world that I had a very liking to it, and
Do you think that because it ran in the family? Because, I mean, there were generations of Barrymores who were
Yes.
keen on the drink.
yeah, my whole family was definitely, they were all drinkers, and they abused it, and they say it's hereditary, and I'm sure it is, because I have a long list of it. But,
And what about the drugs?
that started when I was around 10 and 11, and
10. Who gave you your first drug, for goodness sake?
as I said then, they were friends, but they weren't really friends. And to me, it just seemed normal. All the people I were around did it, and I thought it was a way of life that was just normal to be living.
But I mean, the people you were around weren't the same age as you. They weren't.
No, I always had older friends. I was always with a very advanced older crowd from when I was about 6.
How did you feel? You must have felt, they must have made you feel good.
Yeah, it did. It was that great escape that you look for when you're younger, or actually at any age in your lifetime. You look for that escape to get away from your problems in life. And when you do drugs, your problems in normal life seem so much bigger that you just, you know, you kind of do more just to get away from them.
It's a complete downwards
It's a
spiral.
complete downhill cycle that you just get caught up into, and either you make it out or you don't, and it's very scary.
And you went for the treatment, but that you had setbacks, and you did some crazy things when you came out of treatment.
Yeah, I did. At first I was clean, but I was off drugs, but I still had the same behavior and was still doing the same things. And that's when I really got clean, when I realized I just wasn't doing it right.
I mean, is there any kind of, obviously the message is to all young people, don't do it. However young you are, you can fall into these traps. Is there any one rule that you'd say, or anything that you'd say to parents?
Well, that whole you can't just say no, because they don't listen. I didn't listen, and other friends of mine didn't listen. You have to really understand where your kid is coming from a parent, and you have to let go and turn it over to either a higher power, whatever you believe in, and have a lot of patience and understanding and really help your kid. And for the kids, it really depends on the individual, because everybody is different and everybody needs a certain different type of help to get through their problem. And hopefully they can find the right one and really stick with it, and it takes a lot of patience and a lot of understanding.
And how old are you now?
I'm 15, almost 16.
And you're just living a day at a time?
Yes, 1 minute, 1 moment.
We wish you well, and it's good to see you look well. It's good to see a young person come out the other side. It must have taken a great deal of fortitude, strength, and intelligence.
but it looks as if things are on the up for you.
Very.
We look forward to seeing E.T. with you in it. A very small Drew Barrymore, very innocent, with an awful time ahead of her, and now you're at the other side of it. And we hope you'll continue to be.
Thank you.
Drew Barrymore.
And finally, a lady who certainly lived the glamorous life of a Hollywood leading lady. I'm not sure if I can remember any of her greater films, but no matter. The much-married Zsa Zsa Gabor was one of a kind. When we got together, she'd just been forced to do community service after slapping a Los Angeles policeman. She brought along her pet dog. It was hard to tell who was the more barking.
Oh, you sit there, please. This is my seat. Is the dog happy without a seat?
That's Macho Man. Well, he would like to be on the top of the table if you want to lift him.
Well,
Put him up there.
Is it all right if I lift him?
Of course, he says, Machi, be good.
Be good, Machi.
He's not going to eat you.
Good.
Wait a minute, the tray. Oh, my
I'll move the
goodness.
tray. Yes.
Those English with their tea.
Yes, all right.
Okay.
Okay. What's the tea, Macho?
Macho, what's the tea, please?
Yes. How old is Macho?
Macho's at 9 years old. He's my oldest Shih Tzu. I have 3 more Shih Tzus, 2 German Shepherds and a Rottweiler, and 7 horses and a husband.
I'm sure you don't mean to put your husband last.
He's the first, but I mean, I thought about my animals first because they cost me so much money, the animals.
The husband is cheap, is he?
The husband is wonderful. He's not cheap. He's the most generous man I had, and I am very much in love with him.
And you've had some very generous husbands, haven't
No,
you?
not at all. All the other husbands cost me money, included Hilton.
What, even the enormously wealthy one?
Yeah. The enormously wealthy one didn't give me alimony or child support, and the only thing that I gave him, his mother, my Minko, this daddy in Budapest, gave me, don't talk to me enormously wealthy men. They are the most cheap. But I find out in life.
Always find... Perhaps it's best to find a man who's poor to begin with.
It's best to find a man you love and you want to go to bed with, and then you can work things out. The friend says you can fight the whole day. If you wind up in bed at night, you can always work out the marriage. And I found that out very young in life.
You think sex is the most important thing in a marriage?
No, not the most, but very important. Because, look, if you fight the whole day and then you go to bed with a man and you like him in bed, then you forget all his shortcomings, which you all have so many.
But I mean, if you're married for an awful long time, married 25 years...
Oh, my God, how could you stand it?
Well, it's not me, it's my wife I feel sorry for.
This is my longest marriage. It's 4 years in a couple of weeks. We're giving, by the way, a big party on our ranch.
Yeah.
I don't see... My last marriage was 1 day, and I didn't think it will last that long.
Yeah, but you give your heart so easily, don't you?
Not so easily at all. But I am such a jerk, excuse the expression, it's American expression. I always fall for the real chauvinistic pigs. I think they are wonderful. And then when they're chauvinistic pigs, I'm surprised.
So you're really quite silly about men. You see, you're supposed to be the most famous woman of the world in the world.
Oh, not at all.
Sophisticated.
Oh, I forgot one thing. I wanted to slap you. You see, I got
I'm not even wearing a policeman's uniform.
But you look to me like a chauvinistic pig, which I love.
Have you finished doing your community service?
300 hours. But I must say one thing, darling, serious now. The best thing in the world happened to me. I went to the homeless, where I fall in love with every homeless and wanted to make them each a home and raise them 165,000. So the judge tries desperately to punish me, but he can't because I enjoy everything he makes me do.
You see, the punishment has done you good.
Jail was terrible. You see, I have a terrible claustrophobia. And to be locked up for me, you see, when I married Hilton, he once told me, I asked him, where were you last night? He says, Zsa Zsa, don't fence me in. I says, Conrad, well, I understand you. I can't be fenced in either. And let's face it, in the jail you are sort of fenced in.
How long were you in jail for?
Only 3 days.
But that's enough.
No, because I could finish my, I'm writing a book, which is right now called One Lifetime is Not Enough. And as it looks, it isn't, because I have so much living to and I've done so much already. I mean, when I dictated this book, my writer says, my God, it's impossible you lived all that. I said, that's just the beginning.
What have you learned from life? You, as I say, you've lived a lot and you've seen a lot.
I learned one thing, that I still like the animals the most.
What about these plans for a movie of your life?
Yeah, Sir John Wolfe.
Who's going to play that?
Well, they have to find a 15-year-old, naughty, blonde Hungarian girl who can also act. And I would have
a naughty blonde Hungarian
girl. Well, of
girl.
course. I married the Turkish ambassador at 15 only because I wanted to keep my Scotty then. I had a little Scotty.
That's as good a reason as any.
Well, Daddy said I can't keep him. And I called him up. I knew him, Your Excellency, will you marry me? But I have to bring my dog to Turkey, Ankara. And I talked him into it. 3 days later, I was Her Excellency, Mother Burhan Asa Belge. I know all this.
What a life you've led. Do you look back on it with any regret? Do you think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that?
I wish I wouldn't have driven down on Lassi Boulevard a year ago.
Never mind. But what about other things? I mean, you must regret some of the men that you...
The only one is the lawyer, the Yugoslav lawyer, Michael O'Hara. I could have skipped that.
A Yugoslav lawyer called Michael
American,
O'Hara?
but his name is Milan Karađorđević. They made it Americanized. He came with his mother from Yugoslavia. And I met him. He was my divorce lawyer from Jack Ryan, the Barbie doll man. And the day we got divorced with Jack Ryan, I married him last week because he was gorgeous. But that's it.
You're a woman who's carried away by physical beauty, aren't you?
No, he was very intelligent. He's a lawyer, very intelligent man. I am liking a good-looking man, yes, sir. You are very good-looking.
No, please. Please.
And hearing those words from Zsa brings on the urge to make a quick exit. Time I wasn't here, but there's always a next time. So back again with some more Wogan and their best bits.